And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma. Sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Bill Maher's latest focus is destroying woke arguments as if it were his full-time job. To be honest, Whoopi Goldberg had it coming with her increasing number of embarrassing takes since 2022, but instead of just criticizing her, the mayor tore her to pieces in a brutal takedown that left Whoopi scurrying around like a cartoon character avoiding anvils.
To get past this endless, unforgiving, zero-tolerance mindset bent on punishing and disappearing anyone caught saying the wrong thing, the right response to speech you don't like is more speech.
The ladies of The View are obviously not taking a loss well this time around, as Whoopi Goldberg just poked the bear and now she's facing the brutal truth. If you watched our last video, you know that Bill Maher scolded Tsunami host for bending his words in an unsuccessful attempt to make woke points. However, this time Whoopi is taking on what appears to be a full-fledged revenge mission to defend her co-host. Apparently, Sunny couldn't take the heat Maher brought, so she called in backup Whoopi Goldberg, and she didn't come in cool and collected. Instead, she came in hot and ready to rumble like a contestant on a reality show no one asked for.
People can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Traditional Whoopi Goldberg is reading the woke playbook as if it were her Bible. When your arguments are losing ground faster than the Titanic, it's time to make a straw man and launch an offensive. Bill Maher was making a straightforward point that Black Americans want better jobs, a stronger economy, and responsible policing. But then Whoopi starts talking about how voting for a former prosecutor with plans for the working class has nothing to do with anything at all. There is no logic here. It's like she's playing darts while wearing a blindfold, hoping something sticks.
Down statues of Lincoln and get rid of the police. Just, no. It's not that I've gotten old, it's that your ideas are stupid.
When it comes to The View, the show was transformed into the political talk show equivalent of a train wreck. It's painful to watch, but it's impossible to look away from shore. The View has always been known for stirring things up, but Whoopi Goldberg and Sunny host have managed to take the chaos to a whole new level with some truly out-of-the-ordinary commentary. Remember that time Charlemagne the God braved the set as a guest? You could almost see him wondering if he'd stumbled into an alternate dimension when they were debating policy.
Criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time and, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right.
The backstory is as follows. President Joe Biden, who frequently preaches that everyone is subject to the law, recently pardoned his own son Hunter Biden after he was found guilty of corruption and other connected crimes. Naturally, this move sparked a flurry of criticism about family values. After all, how can you stand on the justice for all soapbox while giving your son a free pass? Arguing that justice is blind is equivalent to arguing that unless your last name is Biden, if the woke crowd truly believed that no one is above the law, then lived by that standard simple right. Well, Whoopi thought otherwise, and that's where things started to go south. Hunter's guilt was as subtle as a toddler with cookie crumbs all over his face, but apparently accountability didn't make it onto the family calendar.
Stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all
No,
of a sudden?
I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over.
And there you have it, another eye-rolling gem from Whoopi Goldberg, the queen of cringe herself. This time, Whoopi asserted that President Biden was telling the truth when he remarked no one is above the law. It's not about politics anymore, it's about consistency. And if you're going to preach accountability, you better not make a mistake the moment it lands at your door. Really, Whoopi, because there is a mountain of evidence, including video, audio, and probably even some cave paintings that he said exactly that loudly and repeatedly as if it were his moral mission. But suddenly that noble mantra just vanishes into thin air when his own son is in the hot seat.
Nation was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law.
Whoopi's blatant lie is equivalent to witnessing someone confidently argue that the sky isn't blue while standing under a cloudless sky at this point. Her mental gymnastics could qualify her for the Olympics, but the best part was seeing the shock on Charlamagne's face as she descended further into this alternate reality. However, she didn't stop there. Oh no, Whoopi doubled down and claimed that perhaps Biden changed his mind because he was tired of seeing everyone get over on him. What does that even mean? How did Charlemagne sit there in stunned silence, likely wondering if he had unintentionally strayed into an SNL parody?
Oh, I'm just gonna follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that they're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground. They don't have to do it.
You love to speak truth to power, and we always should, but you have completely lost the ability to speak truth to bullshit. Is it appropriate to bury the Hunter Biden?
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what they did. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course, you don't
but
follow
I'm
this.
saying you know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No.
Above any matters of politics or what's right or wrong, the one thing I know for sure about America is this. It's run by mean girls. Mean girls in the press and in politics and in life. And when they smell blood in the water, the lust to finish off a vulnerable person will never be denied. Democrats run for office as if the voters don't live here, as if they don't go to the grocery store and Starbucks and the office. But they do. But a poll last year asked if America is the greatest country in the world. More blacks and Hispanic Americans agreed with that than the white progressives. It asked if racism is built into our society. White progressives agreed with that at higher levels than black and Hispanic people. It asked if government should increase border security. Same result. Hispanic Americans are less okay with illegal immigration than whitey. And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them. Black people, they're just like us. The coalition of Trump voters, people who really like him, they certainly are those. And then there's people who don't necessarily like him that much, but they still think he's less crazy than stuff that strikes them as aggressively anti-common sense. They will stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.